Hi, good afternoon. I'm Albert Padin from Spell Dial is we're trying to make connecting simple and easy by connecting everybody. But anyways, three of my favorite games. When I was younger, I think the first game that I really liked was Red Alert, the number one. You know, back then it was like state of the art. Now I look back, it's like stickmen moving around. So Red Alert 1, and then next was StarCraft. Remember that? I think that was it's in the 1990s. And the first day it came out, I played the game right on the first day. Remember that? And the third one was Red Alert 2, which I thought kind of beat. Um, yeah, beat Red Alert 1, and it engaged me more than StarCraft because most of my friends played it. Anyways, yeah, that's me, Albert Padin. It's Dial. I do Python also. And I'm also an advocate for Google App Engine. And I'm here to talk about Stack Overflow, how Google App Engine has gone Stack Overflow. I'm not going to do a technical talk. This is a very short talk. It's just more to kick off the series of tech talks. But I'm going to talk about interesting points of the effects of how Google App Engine transferring to Stack Overflow. So who here knows about Google App Engine? 1, 2, 3. That's good. 4. Okay. Who here has developed an app engine? Me! Okay. So you can imagine how difficult it is for me to go around Cebu and ask people questions. So my only medium of instruction would be the online, watching videos. And second, if I need to ask people questions, I'd have to go online. I can't talk to any of the rock stars here to ask questions. Nobody can help me, so I have to do it on my own. And thankfully, there's Stack Overflow. Before that, we used what you call a Google mailing list. You know, you have that? My Google mailing list, Google Groups mailing list actually, it's Google App Engine. What happened is every day, I would open my Google Reader and see all the threads. I tell you all, like there's like 50 a day. I would read everything because I needed to know what was happening or questions or new ideas. So that was kind of my first thing in the morning kind of thing. And I realized one thing while I was reading it. If you ask a question there, usually you wouldn't get answers. Especially if it's a dumb question. Because they're probably very too expert already to put in their time or effort to answering that. So Google App Engine, February 7, made this official statement. Google App Engine community support is now moving to Stack Overflow. This is by the guys from Google, and they decided to do that move for many reasons, and one of which is one, it will open a lot of other people to be able to answer questions, and there's a built-in motivation system in Stack Overflow that encourages people to ask, to answer, and to participate by upload and download, stuff like that. So that was the move February 7. And that was the move February 7. Now that was interesting that I noticed when we moved to Stack Overflow, because before that, I would not really participate in Stack Overflow. It would be the place where I would go to if I type what to do in Google App Engine in Google, and then Stack Overflow would be like the first result. So I would end up there and think, oh, okay. But I wouldn't ask there because I didn't feel like that was the official place to ask questions. But then when they did this, I started asking the questions there. And people actually answered fast. Like 5 minutes later, an hour later, depending also when you ask, because all the people who answer my questions are usually from the other side of the world, non-Filipino. So it's also depending on the time that you ask questions. But they answer. And I get Stack Overflow points also, which is really cool. And I started answering questions, which was surprising to me. Because I wouldn't answer questions before on the thread. I felt like I was not an expert to do that. I felt like there were giants around the mailing lists, and it was horrifying for me, or just kind of intimidating for me to feel like if I put in something on the thread, everybody else in the world gets to read it. So that was kind of intimidating. So it was hard to construct a message or an answer every time in the mailing list. But different with Stack Overflow, it was very easy to do that. So that was a good move. And so that was the second benefit. The third benefit was because Google App Engine is a platform, it's like AWS. It's like a platform, and you can run Python on it, Java, and they have this third language called Go, which is by Google. I don't use it. Um, I don't know who uses it, but there might be some people. Anyways, so when I post a question and I tag it with Google App Engine and Python, guys who know Python but don't know what Google App Engine is see that question. So it's like, wow, people who don't know Google App Engine get to see a question about Google App Engine. They're like wondering, so what is Google App Engine people are talking about? Before, in the forums, in the mailing list, no one was there that didn't know about App Engine. By Stack Overflow, the questions now start to appear even to people who are not part of that group. So that was really cool, and I think that works for App Engine in having them promote their platform. So, anyways, I have compiled some interesting things here about Stack Overflow. I don't know if you know this, but here are some fun facts. Okay, this is the #1 currently top voted question. That's 2,499 upvotes. The question is, list of freely available programming books. So you can already tell like the market of Stack Overflow is usually programmers who want to learn. Okay, so me too, I want to know free programming books. Closed. Okay, next. Now the next one is I think the most downvoted question. So, yeah. So, the guy even said the most upvoted commenter was, are you sure you have 100,000 recipients? Or is this a script kiddie's weak attempt to learn how to spam? So, I think I can agree. And this one is the question for the top most voted answer. So this is the question. Regular expression match open tags except XHTML self-contained tags. And he's like saying this thing, how do I do that? How do I do that? I want to get this but not that. And the answer is, there. You can't! And it's voted 4,432 times. So yeah, I think this guy really tried it. You can't. So this is a visualization done by some tags, mostly programming languages and databases, and some even platforms. And their relative tags in Stack Overflow. So if you can see, you have here like Objective-C, iOS, and iPhone is one big chunk, and you have Android and Java over there. You have the front-end languages, CSS, HTML, jQuery, JavaScript down there below. And they kind of relate to each other. So the closer they are to each other, there are more chances that they are being asked together. And then of course there's that web. Pretty interesting, it's pretty beautiful. Okay. So what? Stack Overflow what? So what? I think this is a very a good insight. No? It's like if you have a product or a platform that your customers or your users are developers, I think it's a good idea. It might be a good idea to post into to have your support or community support in Stack Overflow. One, you get all the benefits of the forum or the mailing list. You can ask all the questions. Second, you get marketing mileage, meaning people, the other developers who have never heard of your platform before, naturally get to know about your platform because of the way tags are being put together. Like for example, Python and Google App Engine. Then the guys who don't know App Engine but know Python get to hear about App Engine. So that's a good thing. And then the only disadvantage though is you lose the kind of exclusivity kind of thing. You know, you have your own forum, that's an exclusive kind of thing. You feel it's like your own group. You kind of lose that when you move to Stack Overflow. But you'll get all these added benefits of your people being self-motivated to answer. You have less burden on answering everybody's questions. You get to see who your super users are because it's by their points and all. And so I think it might be a good idea. I think it's a good idea to move your support to Stack Overflow. But remember, the audience of Stack Overflow are mostly developers. So only if your product is related to something developers might find interesting. So that's it. Thank you.